Tonight on NAIT NewsWatch.
The fall break is a controversial topic for some NAIT students.
In our program, we're losing out on instructional time because of it.
And downtown properties are now looking more empty than usual.
COVID certainly slowed things down drastically.
And the McEwen Pools get a visit from NAIT.
We'll have to adhere to any COVID-related protocols that are in place.
NewsWatch starts now.
Good evening. Advance voting for the Edmonton election is now open.
The questions people are being asked deals with some potentially big changes. Our Cole Mercer joins us live from our news center with more on that story.
Starting on October 7th, the City of Edmonton opened up advanced polls for the upcoming mayoral election, and with a new mayor, may come some new changes.
The Edmonton Public Library was one of several locations where advanced polls were open and where voters were asked to keep or let go of Section 36.2 and daylight saving hours.
I mean, even, as far as when it comes to putting on certain questions on the ballots, for example, right? Mm-hmm. Like currently we have certain questions that are on the ballots that have been there before, like the daylight savings time and everything else like that. So it's how they try to bring it in onto the municipal level, but has nothing to do with the municipal election, so to speak. Mm-hmm. Because municipalities have a certain level of governance that they can deal with, and certain issues are within their jurisdiction, some of them are not.
Well, the daylight savings time, I think it'll work a lot of times if they tell the public and give us all the proper feedbacks that we need to know why they're changing the time frames. It'll benefit a lot of people. I think it can better the system if the people, like I was saying, if we all get the right proper knowledge on it. If you don't, there's going to cause controversy within itself, and a lot of people are not going to follow through with it.
As the election day grows nearer, and as many wondering what the result will have on the effect of the Referendum Act and daylight saving hours.
The advanced polls go until October 13th, and the official election day is on October 18th.
So Cole, what is the proposed change to the Referendum Act?
The desired goal is to remove equalization payments. This is based on how much each province's ability raises tax revenues. If that revenue does not allow a reasonable level of public service compared to other provinces, the provincial government gives out an equalization payment. If this is gone, then Alberta may possibly receive more payment.
And what about the daylight savings time? What's the reason for that change?
Many Canadians are tired of having to change the time twice a year. Many claim this has negative effects on their sleep schedule. Those with small children say it's even harder to get them used to these changes. Getting rid of it would mean we wouldn't have to change our clocks, but the side effects include having later sunrises and earlier sunsets.
Thanks, Cole. That's Cole Mercer reporting live from our news center tonight.
You're watching NAIT NewsWatch.
The Canadian government is lending a helping hand to Alberta as it fights COVID-19. 8 military nurses are beginning work at the Royal Alexandra Hospital this week to provide some relief, but some who worked in the ICU during COVID-19 say this might not be enough to help the exhausted medical staff.
When we talk about how large our ICU capacity is at the moment, it's more than double its normal occupancy. I do think it is still just a drop in the bucket in terms of the kind of help that we need here in Alberta.
The military support is staying until the end of October. Red Cross is also expected to provide up to 20 healthcare professionals in Red Deer.
Real estate firms in the city are stuck dealing with a growing problem. Too many buildings and not enough tenants. Throughout the pandemic, many businesses and office spaces have been unable to keep up with the cost of rent, forcing them to relocate or even close entirely. Today, you can find block after block of empty properties in what used to be Edmonton's sprawling commercial hub.
It was a healthy market, and it was buoyant and active and vibrant, and COVID certainly slowed things down drastically.
Although realtors predict that the market will gradually return after the pandemic, There is concern that smaller local businesses might not be able to recover.
A familiar season is back on Edmonton roads. Construction season is here and it's busier than ever. Over 270 active projects are on the go. City of Edmonton officials say they have many big projects starting this year, and some people are concerned.
Towards the end of them, hopefully there's benefit that both businesses and commuters can experience through the process of having that construction completed.
I feel that there's too many major roadways that are plugged up, so there is no efficient way to get anywhere.
The city wants to remind people that they can see where construction is happening on the City of Edmonton's website.
NAIT is taking a deep dive into McEwen's Pool. Due to the closure of NAIT's pool in 2020, staff and students who have paid their recreation and athletic fees have now been redirected to our neighbor's campus facility. Just like our own campus, all you need upon arrival is your One at NAIT card. Once you've scanned in, you can enjoy their variety of aquatic programs and do so while being safe and socially distanced.
We'll have to adhere to any COVID-related protocols that are in place at McEwen as well, and anything else, as they would if they were going to any other facility here in the city.
With the change in restrictions, everyone is advised to check McEwen's website for updates before heading over to enjoy the water.
Fall break is rounding the corner for NAIT students and staff.
Next shot, I need more close-up of this guy.
Along with Thanksgiving Monday, students get Tuesday off, giving them a 4-day weekend. While some welcome a much-needed break, others feel it makes their class schedule rushed.
It's going to be nice to just sit and relax and not have to worry about catching any Edmonton transit.
We're not able to pick up the time, so we're essentially ending up with a 14-week course instead of a 15-week course, which I think is not setting us up for success.
NAIT has also made November 12th a day off for fall break.
Coming up after the break, the University of Alberta's greenhouses are being moved to an art installation in Edmonton.
They've been purchased from U of A and now they will be preserved and repurposed.
The houses will be reimagined and have a new future as a hub.
This week in Sports, BC Harmon's volleyball team is doing with a roster primarily of first years. And then we welcome back our women's volleyball coach with open arms after 9 years of being away from the game. After that, we'll see how FC Edmonton is doing as they approach the playoffs, and we'll see which Canadian elite basketball player has joined NAIT's coaching staff.
The leaves around Edmonton are definitely changing color and starting to fall down. But can we say the same about our falling temperatures, snow, or even rain? All that and more coming up on NAIT NewsWatch Weather.
You know, Ben, it's getting really cold out there, and I have to say I'm not a big fan of it.
Well, I hear you, Nicole. I'm right there with you, especially now this morning. I noticed we're starting to dip into those colder sub-temperatures, and we've got Robert Bradley who's going to tell us all about that. Robert, over to you.
Thanks, guys. Yeah, I also noticed that it's getting a little bit colder in the morning too, but on the plus side, at the very least, it is getting warmer towards the middle of the day, so hopefully. Anyway, over to forecast. For Calgary, we have a mix of sun and cloud with a high of 15 degrees and a low of 5 degrees with cloudy periods overnight. Heading into Jasper, we have a 30% chance of showers with a high of 11 degrees and a low of +3 with rain overnight. And in Fort McMurray, we have a mix of sun and cloud for the day with a high of 12 degrees and a low of +4 with cloudy periods overnight there as well. And coming back home to Edmonton, we have a mix of sun and cloud with a high of 14 degrees and a low of 5 degrees with cloudy periods overnight. Heading to our average high and low for the time of year, we have high of 13 and a low of 2 degrees, which is about on par with what we're usually at right now. For record highs and lows, we have our record high of 23 degrees in the year 2000 and a record low of -7 in 2009. Back to you guys.
NewsWatch Weather is brought to you by NR92, the station for the students.
The University of Alberta's famous ring houses have finally been purchased after long fears of them being potentially demolished. A local real estate firm, Primavera Development Group, bought the historical buildings last month with the aim of preservation in mind. The houses will be disassembled and moved starting spring of next year, with plans to use them in several arts and community projects.
I think the future for the houses is an exciting one in that there will be community access, and the houses will be reimagined and have a new future as a hub for community supporting the arts in the Edmonton region.
The university so far has no plans to repurpose the land the houses currently occupy and will convert it to green space after the houses have been moved. As NAIT teams start to make their first debuts, so do the coaches.
That's right, Nicole. With many new updates to NAIT's coaching staff, we'll take a look at how they've been settling in with their new teams.
And then we send it to the pitch to see how FC Edmonton is doing. Our Caitlin Poppersnick has more.
He's a two-time Canadian elite basketball champion, the Golden Bears' all-time leader in career points, rebounds, assists, steals, and minutes played. Now he's a coach. Jordan Baker has joined NAIT's coaching staff. This will be Baker's first head coach position, but with lots of prior experience on and off the court, the men's basketball team is in good hands.
Catch it, rip opposite, eyes on the rim. Okay, if he comes and gets his feet set, then you attack.
The Edmonton Stingers' power forward is looking to make a lasting impact on the team. Having been in his players' positions before, Baker recognizes what it means to eat, sleep, and breathe collegiate basketball.
You know, it's not just the professional experience, but also, you know, my experience as a post-secondary athlete. I understand what these guys are going through, the amount of time commitment that's on their plate between classes and part-time jobs and coming here to practice.
The veteran athletes also welcome this new coaching change with open arms.
Having a new coach is great. A lot of learning experience, especially someone with his caliber, played and won at a whole bunch of different levels, so it's great for us.
Baker says the team still has a lot of work to do before their first regular season game on November 19th. Besides Baker, another familiar name has been adding to NAIT's coaching staff. Russo Thorpe is back leading the women's volleyball team once again after 9 years away from the game. The former Olympian coached the team from 2010 to 2012 before moving to Montreal with her family. She returned to Edmonton last year when the position opened up and is now ready to work with a team that is willing to put their best foot forward every day.
It's been great being back in the gym. There's been some nice surprises in terms of skill level. And I think it's a really good core group of players that we had returning, which makes it easier for the new players that we've added.
Russo Thorpe says they need to make some changes, having lost their first 3 preseason games. But with no in-person spectating currently allowed, fans can watch the next game October 15th against King's University on ACAC TV. Regular season gets underway November 19th. Keeping with our new coach theme, men's hockey has also carved some changes into their coaching staff in the 2020 offseason. They handed the reins to former captain Scott Fellnermeyer as the new head coach.
Fellnermeyer was part of the Ooks hockey team from 2012 to 2016, winning 2 ACAC championships in his last 2 years with the team as captain. Now the former captain is back at NAIT, but this time as the head coach.
It's interesting. I mean, it's been a long time since I played, it feels like, but yeah, it's only been 5-6 years. So interesting position I'm in.
With what was supposed to be his first season as head coach in 2020, the season was canceled due to the pandemic, which meant only practices and due to restrictions, less players.
You can imagine. I mean, all last year it was, guys coming to town, we were practicing. We probably only practiced 20 times and barely ever had the full roster. And when we were coming into practice, we had all kinds of restrictions.
While Fellnermeyer has only been able to practice with the team so far, Tyler Robertson, a fourth-year player, is taking this time to learn new skills from Fellnermeyer to help the team have a successful season this year.
Well, I think it's awesome. I think promoting within is a great thing, and
he's played on the team and it wasn't that long ago, so I think he really knows like the culture and he knows that we're here to win, and I think all the guys respect that.
With restrictions loosening, Feldermeyer expresses how valuable it's been to have certain pregame routines back and for players to spend a little bit more time around the arena.
Kicking around a soccer ball, stretching, getting ready, loosening up the body, talking, coach has a meeting, that type of thing. So didn't get a chance to have any of that. So even just having that this year and guys being able to hang around the room a little bit longer has brought them together more.
Feldermeyer will get his first taste behind the bench as the NAIT Ooks take on the Augustana Vikings on October 15th. Nathan Carlson, NewsWatch Sports.
NAIT's men's volleyball team is also back in action. They're diving into this long-awaited season with primarily a roster full of first years and transfer players. With 3 preseason games under their belt, giving them a record of 1 and 2, the team is taking this time to grow as a new group. For the returning players, this is giving them a chance to take on leadership roles.
I just gotta make them feel comfortable, make them feel confident, let them know that if they mess up, it's not the end of the world. Like, it's volleyball, you're gonna mess up, I mess up. It doesn't matter if you're new or old.
And just like the women's team, they're back in action against King's University, October 15th. FC Edmonton brought the heat to a rather chilly game on Wednesday night at Clark Stadium against first place team, Pacific FC. Edmonton dominated the field during the first half of the game, scoring 2 goals. They managed to keep Pacific to 1 point the whole 90 minutes, giving FC Edmonton a much-needed win as they approached the playoffs.
It's nice to see them finally get rewarded because they've been putting in good performances. Almost every game, the guys are leaving everything they have on the field. They're growing, they're getting better.
Edmonton is currently in 7th place with 6 more regular season games to go. The top 4 teams make it to playoffs. You can also catch their next game October 9th against Cavalry. So Ben, do you know anything about soccer? Are you keeping up with Edmonton's sports team?
Well, Caitlin, you know me. I don't really keep up with the soccer scene a whole all that much. I leave that to you and Nicole. You guys are the real experts on that stuff.
So you're saying Nicole is a soccer lover too?
Well, I'd say so.
Well, I mean, my brother used to play when he was 10 years old, so I got a lot of experience with the game.
So you should be doing sports then instead?
Oh yeah, definitely, yeah.
All right, I'll send it back to you guys at the desk.
Coming up after the break, we see what the NAIT culinary students are up to.
And how they're teaming up with Boyle Street for some community building.
That I've done at least a small part to make other people's lives better.
Apparel for Newswatch provided by TLA Development.
Thanksgiving is coming up, and most families are celebrating with a traditional Thanksgiving turkey. But not everyone has that opportunity.
That's right, which is why NAIT's culinary arts students are teaming up with Boyle Street to prepare a Thanksgiving meal for Edmonton's less fortunate.
Leg, you need to get that thigh bone out first, and again you can see the seam straight away.
Students and staff volunteers get up early Sunday morning to prepare up to 60 turkeys, 100 liters of gravy, and many vegetables. This meal aims to feed up to 1,600 people who aren't able to cook for themselves.
It was something that I can feel, that I've done at least a small part to make other people's lives better.
This year marks 21 years that the culinary program has been teaming up with Boyle Street.
Actors in the 11 o'clock number at the Grindstone Theatre are putting on a fresh new musical every weekend. The only catch is that they don't get the script, music, or lyrics ahead of time. In fact, they make it up on the spot with the audience's help.
What's a movie you really like? 1, 2, 3.
It's an improvised musical based on an audience member's life. Running for 10 years now, artistic director Byron Martin is happy to be making people laugh in person again, even if it can be hard to tell behind the masks.
It's special just that we can do the show again, which is really nice. We kind of missed season 9 because we were in lockdown and we weren't allowed to sing. So so we were doing some other improv shows last year.
The 11 o'clock number runs Saturday nights at 9 p.m. just off White Ave, and they have other shows running Wednesday to Sunday. And this weekend, we'd like to try something a little different. We'd like to point out a few fun Thanksgiving weekend activities that you may like to try out for yourself or with family and friends.
That's right, Ben. Something we look forward to every year, the Edmonton Corn Maze. Get lost in the corn, pumpkins, and maybe even get some good photos to share. Running till October 17th, tickets are available online and in person.
And if corn isn't your thing, maybe you'd like to check out a haunted pumpkin festival, where you can pick a pack of perfect pumpkins to present to your parents. The pumpkin patch is open till the 31st.
If you're looking for the perfect spot to just kick back and watch the night sky, then Elk Island might be the place for you this weekend. It'll be a galactic experience you might not want to miss.
Or maybe you'd like something a tad more spooky. A spirited walk through Old Strathcona might be right up your haunted alley. This trip will take you in front of houses and shops with reported ghosts.
Thanks for watching. We hope you enjoyed tonight's show.
If you'd like to see more, follow us on our Twitter and Instagram, and check out our website at naitnewswatch.ca. I'm Ben Druin.
And I'm Nicole Gruber. Have a good night.